What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Influential Inbox. Well, listen, here's what we're talking about today. You are confident in person, you're great with clients, but the second that little red light goes on, something shifts. Something shifts. Oh no! Mind blown. You freeze, you flatten, you sound like a corporate voicemail, and it's driving you nuts. Well, listen, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it tonight on the Influential Inbox, the show where I, your man, Robert Kennedy III, RK3, that's me. I answer questions from our clients, our customers, our audience, and we see what's popping. Hey, if you're on with me, do me a favor, just holla at me in the comments. Holla at me in the comments, y'all. Let me see who's in the space and in the place. All right, Johnson 845. I love when people have names and numbers on Instagram. Hey, if you're joining me, just put your name in the comments so I know that it's you people. I know that it's you. Humble Bee, hello, how you doing? All right, let's see if we can get Humble Bee on the screen. Hold on, I got my buttons messy. Where's my buttons? Okay, here we go. Let's get some Humble Bee on the screen. Let's go, Humble Bee. All right, cool. All right, y'all. Well, listen, we are going to jump in to the show. We're going to jump into the show. So the question that came in tonight that I'm going to be answering, and I'll show you in just a few moments how to submit your questions, is, hey, how do I keep my personality from getting lost when I'm recording videos or doing virtual presentations for clients? Yikes. And that's not just a you thing. It's a me thing. I'll tell you about it in just a moment. But first, I want to share with you, listen, we are doing something special in September 22nd through 24th. We're doing the Amplify Your Voice with Video 3-day challenge. Yes, we are. We are doing the 3-day challenge. And let me tell you a little bit about it. We are doing that to help you unlock the skill that instantly separates the influential from the invisible. So we're doing 3 days and we're giving you some time to get set for that. If you are a real estate professional or a small service-based business owner, and you know that you need to be communicating more effectively on screen, on camera with your people, then you want to be at the challenge, because what we're going to be doing is sharing with you how to step over those anxieties and those nerves. We're going to be sharing with you a simple system that I use to show up with confidence and to use long form and short form video content to generate leads weekly, and then how to plan for your growth. Okay. So day one, we're going to be talking about how to find your voice. Day two, confidence to camera, how to make it more simple and less nerve-wracking, the 3 types of videos that will build trust and get leads. Day 3, we're going to be walking through your video visibility engine. And of course, it's me, your man, your host, Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me. Here is the information. Just hop on to amplifyvoiceandvideo.com. You can jump in, and then you can also jump in, get with VIP, and you'll get some backstage and some access to additional bonuses when you do that as well. All right. So September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, starting live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out what the peoples had to say about the challenges that we've done in the past. All right. So I want to see you. Amplifyvoiceandvideo.com. Head on over there and join with us on September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. All right. Let's see who else we've got on the show. Come on, y'all. I want to see you. I want to see what comments you're sharing. I don't have all my stuff open, so I need you to hop in and say what's good in the hood. All right, let's see if we got additional chat happening. All right, good deal. All right, so let's jump into the show today. So the problem that a lot of people are having is, let me move stuff. I got too many things on my desk. Y'all do not want to see this behind the scenes here. Yeah, yeah. I've got what they call the cone of cleanliness going on. It looks great, right? But it's a mess back here. All right. Anyway, yeah. Hold on. Here's a little preview. Oh no, yeah. There we go. It's blurry on purpose. All right. So here's the deal. A lot of people are nervous about video. If you are nervous about video, if you're nervous about video, let me know. Let me know. Just type me in the chat if that is you. If you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. And let's go into the question. The question is saying, I don't feel like my personality shines through. And I've had this happen, right? I've had this happen where I have done a video. I've had this happen where I've done a video and I've actually gone through, read the script, and I've done the teleprompter thing. And here's what happens. Did I just push a face up? Okay, let's see if we can get that face to come up again. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, here's what happens. I just lost my train of thought. All right. Humblebee says they can be nervous about video. Here's what happens. I've read and then I've looked at videos of myself and I was like, man, that dude just sounds so rigid and so scripted. It doesn't sound like me. Right? It feels like I can tell that I was reading and I wasn't being me. It feels like I wasn't being myself. Like I was trying to be perfect, right? Like I was performing instead of connecting, right? Performing instead of connecting. So, and this is what happens to a lot of people, right? They're getting lost when they're recording the video because they're trying so hard to be perfect at it. I don't know if this is you. So Humblebee says, yep, at times I can be nervous about video. Yeah, so glad that you're sharing that. So here's the thing that I want you to recognize. If you are trying to do video and you're getting lost and you're feeling like you have to be professional, many people, when they feel like they've got to be professional, they lose what makes them magnetic. I want you to think about when you're talking with your friends, when you're at dinner, when you're at lunch, when you're at Maggiano's or Cheesecake Factory or one of those places, and you're having conversations with your friends or your family. I was just having this fantastic conversation with my family. I do these things where my cousins, we hop on Zoom and it's loud, it's crazy. People are talking over each other. We're laughing. It's nuts, right? And we're not scripted. And what's happening, what we're seeing is just the natural, authentic, relaxed version of ourselves. And so a lot of times when people get on video, they lose what makes them magnetic. I want you to know this. Your personality isn't too much. It's your superpower, but you've got to give yourself permission to use your personality, even when the camera's on. Even when the camera's on. So what I want to do is I want to share with you tonight several things that you can do to let your personality shine through when the camera is on you. But before we jump into that, let me do a couple of things. Number one, nope. Hold on. Yes, I'm going to do a couple of things. First of all, if you want to submit questions to me, so that I can answer those on the show at some point, head on over to robertkennedy3.me/inbox questions. robertkennedy3.me/inbox questions. And if you want to know when we're live, text live to 240-557-8679. 240-557-8679. All right. So let's jump on in and let us walk through some stuff. Okay, let's walk through some stuff. So when you are getting on video, here's what happens to a lot of people. They are so concerned with getting everything right that what they do is they write everything down. And if they don't get a chance to write everything down, they freeze up and they're like, I'm not going to go on video. Teleprompters. A lot of people feel like, okay, if I'm going to use a teleprompter, the teleprompter is for the people like the president, is for people who are professional presenters, is for people who need to not make mistakes. If you're a Saturday Night Live host, you need to have a teleprompter. And so when people read from the teleprompter, they sound like robots, right? And I've heard it. I've heard it over. I wish I had some videos that I could share with you. But here's what I want you to understand. Even if you're using a teleprompter, what you can do is use bullet points instead of scripts, right? You can use bullet points instead of scripts, right? And I do this all the time. As a matter of fact, I'm doing it right now. I've got a teleprompter in front of me. Let me see if I can show this to you. I don't know if I can do this properly. Let's see if we can do this. Nope, this is not gonna, it's not letting me do it. Now I was trying to pull my other camera. I don't have all of my camera stuff together. That's all right. Ooh. Let's see. Yeah, no, I was gonna try to show you my, and you can't really see it because I have my I don't have my controls set up here and I'm still a little bit blurry. Let me see if it will do this for me. Where's my controls? Oh, yeah, that's all right. Yeah. But anyway, even through the blur, you can see that I've got a teleprompter here. And in that teleprompter, I've got some bullet points, right? So what I want you to do, point number one, is as you are figuring out how to show up like a human being on camera, I want you to prep like a human being. So what I just shared with you, use bullet points instead of full scripts. Speak the way that you actually talk, right? Speak the way that you actually talk. Contractions, facial expressions, and even slang if it's you. For example, I was in Toastmasters and I love Toastmasters. And at the same time, one of the things that happens in Toastmasters that might be challenging for a lot of people is they count your ums, your likes, your so's, you knows. And so what people focus on is removing all of that from their language. Now, I am a believer in being as concise and clear as possible. And so you don't want to overwhelm your language with slang or filler words. However, if you are somebody who uses like from time to time in your language, it's okay to do that. If there are slang terms that you use in your language, it's okay to do that. For example, I'll come on a show, and even though it may be a professional show, or even though it may be something that I'm looking to speak to a professional audience, I might jump on and I might say, "Hey fam, what's going on?" Right? That is what I have in front of me, or that is what makes me sound like myself. Right? So practice sounding like yourself. Even if you have a script in front of you, are there opportunities to add you into it? Are there opportunities to add a slang term or something that might be natural for you? You have opportunities to do that in your script. Right? I used to do a show for the National Speakers Association called the Speakernomics Podcast. And as I was doing the show, I was coming up with scripts. I was coming up with information that I could have it on the show. I was coming up with words that I could use in order to make the show sound professional, but they weren't always Robert. And so I decided to make sure that I injected Robert, and Robert likes rhymes. Robert grew up in the 80s, and there was hip hop and all sorts of stuff in the 80s. And I wanted to keep some of that in my introduction. And so I would start the show by saying, hey, y'all, what's going on? It's Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me. Welcome to Speakernomics. Speakernomics is the show where we flow and grow and go and help you to know how to grow. And so I'm doing me inside of it, right? Because it made me feel like me, right? And so I want you to think about what makes you, you, even in a professional setting or in a professional video. Okay. Point number two, prep like a human and not like a host. Number one. Number two, I want you to anchor your energy before you start. Anchor your energy before you start. Gary Graham, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Anchor your energy before you start. What does that mean? It may mean that you move, you breathe, you power pose, you get into your rhythm, right? Before you start, I want you to think about someone specific. If there's somebody that you are close to, if there's somebody that you chop it up with and you have conversations where you just laugh and you relax, I want you to talk to that person. I know people who put pictures of a close friend or family member beside the camera. A friend of mine, Danny Del Vecchio, was in our summit a few months back. One of the things that he says is he acts like he's talking to, or is it, Jasmine, what's Jasmine's last name? Yeah, okay. I'm forgetting names, but they say, talk to your son or talk to you like you're talking to your child. Like if you could write a letter to them, how would you do that? That's one of the techniques that they use to show up in a natural way and not use a lot of words and not use a lot of acronyms and jargon and sound too professional. How do you show up like you? All right. Don't talk to the camera. Talk to the person. Number three, I want you to add in your imperfections. Add in your imperfections. So you record a video and you ask yourself the question, hey, does this sound like me? Does this sound like me? Would I hire this version of me? And as you're doing that, think about your imperfections. Here's what happens. Sometimes I'm recording and I'll talk a little bit too fast and I may stumble over a word in videos. What do? A couple of things. Number one, I might just call myself out and say, wow, I blew that. Okay. And then I'll start again. Or I'll just not pay attention to it. I'll say the word again and I'll keep going. And it's okay. And that's a normal conversation. And this is why live streaming is so good, right? This is why I recommend that if you have the opportunity and the ability to live stream, this is why I recommend that you do it. Because when you're live, you don't have the ability to say, pause, stop, listen, let me start over, take 2, take 14. You don't have that ability. You don't have that opportunity. So the more that you show up live, the more that you practice in public, the more that you do that, the better you become, the more reps you have. And the more reps you have, as the more growth you're going to have. And the more growth you have, the more confidence you're going to have. So I want you to embrace your imperfections. I want you to embrace your imperfections. Okay, let me take these over screen, and we've got only a little bit of time left. So I want to go to the last screen. If you all have some questions, if you have some comments, some thoughts, I want you to share those with me as we go along here. All right, next one. Record at high energy times. Whoops, I got too many things moving. Bam, there we go. Record at high energy times. When is your energy naturally higher? My energy is naturally higher in the morning. So in the morning to early afternoon, I get up, I'm more thoughtful and creative in the early morning. From that 6 o'clock to 9 or 10 o'clock block, I am naturally creative. Around 9 or 10 o'clock, my physical energy starts to kick in. And if I'm speaking, when I'm speaking in the morning, my 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock time, that is the time that is just awesome for me. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I'm doing podcasts. That is awesome for me. If you want me to record at 9 or 10 p.m., I can, but it's a little bit more work. It's a little harder, and I don't get as much natural energy. So what about you? When is your energy naturally higher? I want you to record at that time. And relax. And if you're a humorous person, tell a joke. Stop, smile, stop, pause. What gestures do you normally use in person when you're having conversation? I remember some years ago, I would watch this video, this woman, this coach would do these ads on Facebook, and I would smile at them because it just seemed that they were a little bit performative or nervous, because every time the video started, I would see, let me back up my camera here so you can see what I'm doing. I would see their hands like this, and the video would start and they would say, "Hi." Right? And it was this, but then I saw some other videos of them just hanging with their family, talking with their friends, and they didn't say hi like that. It was natural. Right? I've seen videos. There was another company, and I won't say the name of it because y'all gonna know the company, but one of the founders of the company would do these technical videos. And every time he would do a technical video, you could tell that he was reading from a script because his hands would go the whole time. Right? So if you study what you do, what are the gestures that you do? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to record a video of you just talking and having a conversation with someone without you feeling like it's a piece of content. And I want you to look at how you naturally gesticulate. I want you to look at how you naturally talk, how you naturally move your hands and your arms, right? What are those natural tendencies for you? What are those natural tendencies for you? And here's one of those moments that you're worried about. I'm like, oh my gosh, my nose is itching. And you don't want to scratch your nose on camera. But listen, this is real. This is live stream, and this is what happens, right? So let me go to my last point here before we jump, or my last couple of points. So number 1, record at high energy times. Number 2, recite stories from memory. Even if you're using a script, I want you to put a bullet point, and then just underneath that bullet point, write "tell story about," and then write the time that the story was taking place. Because here's what happens. You want to be able to learn to tell your stories in a concise way, in a way that invites energy, invites people to engage and to turn on their own mental video cameras or their own video reels, so that they can see themselves inside of that space, inside of that story, right? And you want to be better at that. You want to be able to do that in a concise way so that you can take people on a journey and not ramble along. And if you're just constantly reading that, if you're only reading stories, then you may not remember, or you may not get the specific emotion and be able to transfer that to your audience. Right? I want you to think about practicing just sharing your stories. Even if you have outlines, even if you have notes, I want you to think about sharing stories. For example, I just shared with you stories about the 2 people that I saw on camera. That was a natural story. That's not in my script. That's not in my outline. In this case, I didn't even have tell story about. That might be something that I do in my Monday show. Okay, but you want to tell stories in a way that is natural for you. Let's look at the last one. I got my things out of place today, so you see me looking underneath. All right. Lastly, create laughter and smile moments. Create laughter and smile moments. What does that mean? Find a moment to laugh. So you can do that before or after. One of the things that I do quite often is if I'm doing a video, I might say, okay, I've got to get myself in laughter mode, and I'll turn on something Dave Chappelle or Michael Jr. And those are two very different people, right? One swears a little bit, and the other is very Christian and clean. But I laugh. I find a way to laugh, and on camera, as much as possible, I don't think of myself as a comedian or a comic or being good at telling jokes, right? Although I have on my screen in front of me, I've got this DAC board. In front of me. Let me see if I can, boom, you can't really see it. I should have had my joystick here. But I've got this board in front of me, and it's got dad jokes on it, right? So, for example, what does it say? It says, my sister bet me $15 that I couldn't build a car out of spaghetti. You should have seen the look on her face as I drove past her. Right? So I find a moment to laugh and create laughter. And you may not laugh. I don't even care. That laughter that's for me, man. That's for me. So is there a space for you to create laughter and moments to smile? Right? I can talk to the screen. I can talk to people out there, and some people will laugh with me and some people will respond with laughter. But there's some people that may not. And that's not my concern. My concern is to create connection through being authentic. And me being authentic is me being able to laugh and smile at me. Right? So, can you create moments of laughter and smiling? All right. So those are the topics. That's what I want to walk through today. So the person asked, how do I keep my personality from getting lost when I'm recording videos or doing virtual presentations for clients? All of that stuff. Number one, embrace imperfections. That's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. As a matter of fact, let me get rid of this on screen. As a matter of fact, when you let go of being perfect, you make room for being powerful. Right? When you let go of being perfect, you make room for being powerful. So make mistakes. Make errors. Make stuff happen that maybe you didn't plan on. Don't worry about people laughing at you. And I know when I say don't, immediately you want to do the thing that I said don't do. Just imagine yourself in a space where you've got great information, you've got great content, you've got something amazing to share with the world, and you're doing it. And you are focused on doing it, no matter what trips, no matter what obstacles, no matter what's happening in that space. Right? James Brown, good to see you. Tom Pesci, good to see you. Do Time Music, my bro. Dave, the digital creator. What's going on? So good to see you all on Instagram. Right? When you let go of being perfect, you make room for being powerful. All right. So let's jump on out of here. My time is up. Let me get a little music happening. And what I want to do is I want to share with you again. I want to share with you. We got the Amplify Your Voice with Video 3-day challenge coming up in September. If you missed the one for August, we did that a week ago. If you missed that one, we're going to do it again. We're running it back, people. Come on and sign up for the Amplify Your Voice with Video 3-day challenge. Go to amplifyvoiceandvideo.com. September 22nd, 23rd, 24th. It's going to be phantasmical, excellent. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind, y'all. If you want to get better on camera, if you want to be in a space where you can show up as your full self, where you can show up consistently, where you can show up with confidence and turn that ultimately into leads, then join us for the Amplify Your Voice with Video 3-day challenge. Okay? All right. Good deal. Well, listen, when you stop trying to be perfect, you start being powerful. Remember, your audience does not need the polished version of you. They need the real version of you. Do yourself a favor and do your audience a favor. Give them the real you, people. Give them the real you. I will see y'all on the next episode of The Influential Inbox. We'll be back next week. Do me a favor. If you want to submit questions, submit your questions to me by going to robertkennedy3.me/inbox questions. I want to answer your questions on one of the upcoming episodes. robertkennedy3.me/inbox questions. Let's do it, people. All right. Hold on. Let me get my music right. Hold on 1 second. There we go. I started playing it again. I didn't want it to end. All right, y'all. I'm getting out of here. I should have eaten my dinner already. Glad y'all joined us. Ursula K. Odom, so glad you were here. Humble B. Actually, let me pull up some of the chats. If y'all want to chat, if you want to be shouted out on screen right now, let me put y'all up. What's up, Ursula? Humble B can be nervous about video at times. Gary G. What's good to see you, my friend. All right, y'all. Let me get on out of here. Peace.